guys, how's it going? It's Al. We have on Thursday Night Football the Colts and the Broncos in the Horsey Bowl playing against one another in a game that is not gonna probably have a ton of offense. I'm gonna go over everybody that I think is viable and captain. Two teams that are really struggling offensively, one defense that has been absolutely stellar so far this year but is massively priced up on this slate. I'm going to give you a couple of value plays, and we're going to take a look at the Fantasy Labs lineup builder and how to use it best for our decision making on this slate for mass multi-entry. So thank you guys for being here, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Let's start by doing a pick'em over on Underdog Fantasy. You can use promo code ALSMIZZLE. That's ALSMIZZLE, all one word, and you get up to $100 deposit match on your first deposit to the site. Why not do that? If you're going to deposit $100 to the site, you get $100 free dollars you can use on your pick'ems or anything else that they have on the site, Battle Royale, Best Ball Drafts, everything that is coming. I'm going to go with the higher because, look, especially in a game like this, the lowers are probably sharper, but like, I don't like betting lowers. I want to root for things to happen, not for things not to happen. So give me higher than 0.5 interceptions. Give me higher on Alec Pierce receiving yards. Give me higher on Mo Alley. I'm going to build a big one. I'm going to build I can't build that big. Let's go higher than 230 passing yards for Russ Wilson. We're going to do it for $50. That's 4 of them. Hit submit, confirm your picks. Use that promo code. Underdog Fantasy has some great stuff. Go check out everything that they have. Let's go over to the slate. Before we go over to the slate, I wanted to remind you that the Smizz Gang Listener League is up for week 5. It is way bigger than it was last week. 1,000 more spots is still gonna fill on Saturday, so you guys need to get in this like ASAP. $10 to enter, 3 max, $55,000 in prizes. The best tournament that exists on DraftKings right now because it has absolutely no rate. Go to smizzle.tv/links and reserve your 3 entries right now. I will call out the winners, the top 10 finishers on the recap video on the Fantasy Football channel. The link for that also is in smizzle.tv/links. It's like a tree full of links for you to click while you're there. Click all of them. Enter the Listener League. Go follow the Fantasy Football channel, Instagram, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, all that stuff. It's all there in that tree that has all of the links in it. Now let's get to this. These are two teams that have been struggling. The over-under in this one is 43.5. Broncos are favored by 3.5. I'm going to start with the viable captains. He is a viable captain. However, Jonathan Taylor is hurt. We don't know if he's going to play or if he's not going to play. In fact, the Broncos just said that the Colts just said his status for Thursday is unknown at this point. Awesome. So if he is ready to go, he's in play. That's it. Okay. And he is a captain viable player. If he is not ready to go, now we have some decisions that we have to make, whether we're going to play Nyheim Hines, who is going to take over in that running back spot, whether it's going to be somebody like Deion Jackson's going to slide into a bigger role, whether it's going to be Price, whether Phillip Lindsay's going to take on more carries. Wait and see, because there is no way to know for sure at my time of recording, which is Tuesday when I record this video for you. If you wanted to stay up to date and be able to converse with me and everybody in our community, I would highly suggest that you join my Discord community at smizzle.tv/Discord. If you are a channel member here on the main channel, on the Al Zeidenfeld channel here, the A Zeidenfeld channel here on YouTube, there is a join button. It is right next to the subscribe button. However, if you are using an iPhone, they don't have that in the YouTube app. You either have to open it on Chrome or you can just go to smizzle.tv/join. I've made a shortcut link for you. If you wanted to become a channel member, you get access in Discord to all the VIP channels that exist in our Discord community. That is the best way to keep up to date with everything that's happening for every slate, whether it's a main slate, a showdown slate, or NBA, MLB. Our entire community is in there, over 6,000 people strong in our partner Discord. So I'm sure we'll have clarity as we get closer to lock. That's where you need to be, is in our Discord to kind of discuss it. Pittman Jr. looks like the best viable captain in the absence of Jonathan Taylor, because just on volume alone, I don't expect him to be extremely efficient in this game because of how talented Patrick Surtain is and how tough a defense the Denver Broncos have been, allowing like the least points against to opposing quarterbacks. and also primary pass catchers specifically at that. He just gets so much volume that it may overweight that. Like we saw that happen on the last showdown slate with the Rams, right? San Francisco, one of the best defenses in the league, gets tons of pressure. They sacked Matthew Stafford like 72 times. Don't fact check that, but I'm close. But Cooper Kupp still 8. So like volume can do it for you, even if you don't score a touchdown, because of the full PPR and bonus scoring that exists on DraftKings. Pittman is going to get peppered. It's just something that's going to happen. He is a viable captain, whether or not I think he has multiple touchdown upside. But in the absence of Taylor, he may see even more volume. If I'm using Pittman at captain, I am definitely going to be using Matt Ryan in those lineups, because if he has a captain viable night, it means that Matt Ryan has enough points to be viable on that slate, or should have enough points to be viable on that slate. On the other side of the ball, Courtland Sutton is probably the optimal captain on the night. He is one of the most wide open wide receivers that exists in the league. I believe he's number 2 overall in terms of like open ratings right now. If you grade that out by that metric, he is open more than most other receivers that are just in the league. Like he is that good right now, and has a really solid ADOT. 30-yard catch in week 1, 35 in week 2, 34 in week 3, only 18 against Las Vegas and their kind of poor cornerbacks. I was shocked that with Russ having probably his best game of the season, and Courtland Sutton did not match with his best game of the season, but he did score a touchdown, had 16 fantasy points. Probably your optimal captain from a most points expected sort of play on this night. But like Jerry Jeudy is kind of right there with him, even though we haven't seen a massive target game, 8, 9, 10 target game from Jerry Jeudy. If teams move to kind of lock down Courtland Sutton, we know what happens with Russ. He's going to throw the guy that's got single coverage. Right now, Courtland Sutton's just been open so much that he's getting the ball a ton. Absolute alpha wide receiver on the other side. Jerry Jeudy has some big games that are going to be coming his way. You can make lineups with them. At anytime that either of them is in the captain spot, I am going to tie Russ Wilson to them. Russ Wilson finally had his best game of the season, and it wasn't all that great, but he did score 27 points as a result of having this rushing touchdown that went along with it. Through the air, only 234 and 2 touchdowns against Las Vegas, but better days ahead, right? Like this is a situation where we kind of feel like these are not great pass defenses that they're dealing with, even though Indianapolis on paper is up front. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, concussions along their defensive line. Russ should be able to operate without the penalty of being under constant duress. And if I'm going to build a Russ Wilson at captain lineup, it's going to include every single pass catcher that I can possibly come up with on his team, whether that's Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, KJ Hamler will be in that spot, Brandon McManus, because kickers do correlate positively with your quarterback, Kendall Hinton, Salbert, Aquabunam in his one snap that he played last week. All those guys are going to be in that group, and I'm not going to disallow and have that bring back group that's going to include every skill position offensive player on the other side. I'm probably not going to build very many, if any, Matt Ryan lineups for a couple of reasons. Yes, it is possible, but no, it is not all that plausible that he's going to have a captain worthy night. I believe, here's the reason why. Like he could have a 300-yard game. He had one last week against Tennessee. If he has a 354 touchdown night, which the probability of that seems extremely low if you look at the bell curve of possible events, right? I think that his captain usage is going to exceed the number with which probabilistically he is going to be the captain. And you want to play that the other way. You want the probability of the thing happening to be underneath the amount of that lineup played in captain. So it's just not that viable a situation for me to, if that happens, you're also going to be duped by a lot of people. The big news on this slate are the running back injuries. We talked about it with Jonathan Taylor. On the other side, Javonte Williams tore like every single ligament in his knee. I wish him the best and the fastest recovery possible that he can have from that, but it is going to be a long way back. We play fantasy football, however, and we have to live in the now. And right now, there are 2 guys who are viable, regardless of the fact that the Broncos signed Latavius Murray. I do not believe that he is going to be ready to be on the field in any meaningful way by Thursday for this Denver Broncos team in terms of understanding the playbook, getting a lot of volume of snaps, all those other things. Melvin Gordon looks like he is going to be the lead back, though he has struggled with 4 fumbles through 4 games. He is also dealing with a neck injury. If he plays, I am operating under the assumption that he is going to be able to play so long as the neck injury is muscular and not structural, right? If it's bonular, then we're going to have a problem with this injury because they're not going to play a running back through a bonular neck injury. I know I just made up a word. Let me have it. If it's muscular, they got tons of drugs that are going to make him be able to deal with a muscle spasm in his neck to go through that. However, Mike Boone outsnapped Mike Boone, analytics favorite Mike Boone, outsnapped Melvin Gordon for the rest of the game after Javonte left with his injury. That could be because of the fumble. That could be because of the neck injury. And it could be a player protection issue where they didn't want to play him through that injury. We will have news of who the starter is before 90 minutes before lock. Like I said, I'm sure that everybody will be discussing this in Discord as the game gets closer to lock. I have Boone right now as the number 2, but the number 2 in this Denver offense still handles like 40% of the snaps and gets 40% plus of the running back touches. If this is the same split between Melvin Gordon III and Mike Boone, you have 55% Melvin Gordon on snaps and touches and probably 45% Mike Boone. That is extremely valuable, especially considering their prices in the flex or considering their prices at the captain spot. I know that everybody's going to want to play defense in the captain spot, but like you guys know that I don't do that. More than typically, if I'm going to build a team, I'm going to only allow one of the 2 defenses and kickers, but you can see the massive defense difference in price. With $4,200 for the Broncos, who put an awful lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, in Indianapolis, who has done, let's say, a poor job of protecting their quarterback. So this could be a tough spot for Indianapolis. If you wanted to open this rule up to allow 2 of these in one group or manicure some sort of other rules that's going to say, well, if I have this one, then decrease the other one, I'm fine with that. Build your lineups however you want. This is going to be a slate where there's not going to be as much scoring, and both offenses could clearly stall as they get closer to the goal line, as neither of them are really, really strong, and both defenses are strong. A couple of value plays that I wanted to hit on. One, Eric Saubert. I don't know how you pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Saubert. I don't know if it's Saubert, but I'm going to pronounce it that way because like it's more fun. It's a little, brings a little Ratatouille feel to the slate, and I kind of like that. Playing on roughly 50% of snaps so far. They have not utilized their tight ends a ton, but like we're looking for like 1 or 2 plays. On the Monday Night Football play, like all of these are thin. I have to preface this. These are not, you need to lock Eric into your line. No, that's not what we're doing. This is Showdown, where every single point matters. And if you can find a touchdown, like against week 2 against Houston, you put yourself in a spot to differentiate your lineup from others, and to win. 8 points is a mountain of points from anybody down in this range. Also at tight end, we saw Mo Alley Cox get the lion's share, like 70% of the snaps for the tight ends on Indy. Like the week before that, we had like their tight ends just been all over the place. Like Jelani Woods caught a couple. He's at 2,200. Played less snaps in week 4 than Granson. Granson played 25 to 30 snaps in most of the games this year. He would be the secondary guy that I would want if you're trying to fade Mo Alley or play the one that's going to be a little bit less played. You still have an option for him to get you a little bit out of it. He's probably going to be about 20 to 25% in this tournament. And then like the guy that I think is your deep undercover is former quarterback. Not really, but like he played 1 game at quarterback when everybody had COVID in 2020. Kendall Hinton for 1,000. Another way to differentiate on a low played player. Here are the NFL Savant target numbers for both teams. Cortland Sutton with 27.7% of the market share. Jerry Jeudy with 16+%. Javonte Williams going to vacate those 16%. They have to go somewhere. I would assume that some of them are going to go to Melvin Gordon. I could see Jerry Jeudy getting a little bit of a bump. Albert O played 1 snap in the week before, and then after that, everybody is just kind of a dart throw. Mike Boone is going to play a lot more snaps moving forward. On the Indy side, it's basically the Michael Pittman show. Nyheim Hines with 19 targets so far. Granson with 16. Doolin has been relegated to the wide receiver 4 spot, and Alec Pierce has 13 targets on the year, but this is somewhat misleading as he has 11 targets in the last 2 weeks. He's a big arrow up player for the Colts. overall and particularly on this slate. Let's go take a look over at fantasylabs.com. You can get yourself a discounted membership to Fantasy Labs by going to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. That link is going to be down below in the pinned comment if you wanted to go check out all the great tools that they have there. The only place that you can get a football only subscription, but the better deal in my personal opinion is the 6-month deal for basically $249, I believe, where you get not just NFL, but college football projections, NBA with NBA season starting in a couple of weeks, MLB with whatever they have left for playoffs as well, golf every single weekend, NHL if you're a hockey fan, NASCAR and MMA with projections, premium articles, and their great optimizer for all of them. And here's all the settings that I use. The positional rules with your captain quarterback: pair at least 2 of their pass catchers or kicker. Captain quarterback, at least 1 of the position players, skill position players from the opponent. Pair your captain wide receiver with exactly the quarterback from their team. Pair your captain tight end with their quarterback on their team. I've got this at most 1 defense or kicker. If you want to expand this to 2 because you think that this game is there, I'll run it for you guys that way. And 1 player at running back, wide receiver, tight end that is projecting at less than 20%. Apply your settings. Come over here to the optimizer, generate those lineups, and realize that you're going to have to manicure these and run it a bunch of times to get the allocations and the connections that you want, just to make sure that your correlations are key and that the lineup combinations that you want are reflecting what you expected to see. It's not as simple as just click the generate button, upload, and print money. So I wish you the best of luck, and look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.